Kia ora, and welcome to Friday's Economy Watch, where we follow the economic events and trends that affect Aotearoa. I'm David Chaston, and this is the international edition from interest.co.nz, and today we lead with news the Middle East ceasefire deal is still an imaginary figment. Meanwhile, US real personal spending rose just 0.1% in February from January after stagnating in January. The few places of expansion were vehicle sales, healthcare, and financial services. This data shows why most Americans don't feel like they're making economic progress. Worse, real disposable personal income fell 0.5% in February. And the final update of the US fourth quarter economic activity was revised lower yet again. You may recall it was originally touted as a 4.4% growth rate from the prior quarter. Then the second estimate pegged it at 1.7% growth. This final update has dropped it to 0.5%, with revisions that revealed lower investment and lower consumer spending. Year on year in real terms, the US economy was 2% larger than in the fourth quarter of 2024, and that is the slowest expansion since the fourth quarter of 2022, and before that, and except during the pandemic, the first quarter of 2019. US initial jobless claims rose more than expected last week to 203,000, far more than seasonal factors would have accounted for, which would have taken them to 188,000. There are now 1.928 million people on these benefits, less than a year ago, but more than 2 years ago. The April USDA World Agricultural Supply and Demand Estimates report shows smaller US beef production, and they raised their beef import forecasts based on recent trade data and continued strong demand there for lean processing beef, like from New Zealand. In Canada, there's some intriguing politics to note. Mark Carney leads a minority coalition government, but recent defections from the Conservatives and likely by-election results could see his Liberal Party governing on its own very soon as a majority party. They are cashing in on Carney's surging popularity. In Japan, consumer confidence retreated sharply in March from February, which was the highest figure since April 2019. The trigger for the fallback is the global uncertainty, of course, and the latest data takes their sentiment levels back to those of May 2025. And Malaysia said its industrial production rose 3.1% in February from a year ago. It was sharply less than the 5.5% expected. Meanwhile, German exports rose more than expected, up 2.9% in February from a year ago, and that was despite a 7.5% fall to the US and a 2.5% fall to China. Their imports rose 1.5% from a year ago. And we should also note that Anthropic's new AI model is getting eye-catching attention. Its abilities have scared even its own developers, who have warned big tech to prepare for major disruption. Current cybersecurity is about to get busted big time. And global container freight rates rose just 1% last week from the prior week to be 2% higher than year-ago levels. And that was despite sharp increases in the China-EU rates that have been roiled by the Middle East conflicts. Bulk cargo rates rose 3.3% over the past week to be 60% higher than year-ago levels. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now just on 4.29%, up 1 basis point from yesterday. And the price of gold will start today up $59 at $4,799 an ounce. Silver is up $1.50 at $76.50 an ounce. And American oil prices are up $3 at just on $99 a barrel, while the international Brent price is up a bit less at $97 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar is up 40 basis points from yesterday at 58.7 US cents. Against the Aussie, we're risen 10 basis points to 82.8 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're up 10 basis points of 50 euro cents. That all means our trade weight index starts today up 30 basis points from yesterday at just over 62.2. And the Bitcoin price starts today at $72,330 and up 0.6% from this time yesterday. Volatility over the past 24 hours has been modest at just on plus or minus 1.5%. You can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again on Monday.